Thank you, Kate. It's turned out to be a very nice Thursday evening here in June for Thursday night football. The Alouettes and the Edmonton Elks. The Alouettes won the toss. They've deferred. They will kick off. Jose Maltos, Thursday night football underway here at Commonwealth. Glad you could join us. It's Arkell Smith across the 30 and the 35, and special teams tackler extraordinaire Alex Gagne in on the tackle board. His fourth year at the University of Waterloo, handing off to Rankin. Second half of the season last year, Rankin really came on at over 700 yards of rushing.
So we take a look at this Edmonton Elks offense. Happy to welcome Brett Boyko back at the right tackle position. One of four Canadians starting on that offensive line. In the receiving core, Keon Julian Grant faces his former team, the Montreal Alouettes, for the first time in his career. He moved over to Edmonton as a free agent this offseason.
One of the ex-Alouettes, Cody Fajardo as well, the backup to Trey Ford in this one. Gain of 4, Rankin. 2nd and 6 from the Edmonton 42. And it's Ford. How many times are we going to see this tonight? Steps up, escapes the pocket, gets it up near midfield. The legs of Trey Ford from the Edmonton 53. Trey Ford handing out to Rankin again. Finds him. Najee Murray will push him out down around the Alouette 21 yards down to the Montreal 36. First down, faking the handoff, tossing it off to the left to Julian Grant, and he is met there by some teammates right away, including ex-teammates. Wesley Sutton got it started, and they end up losing a little bit of yardage. 3-yard loss for the Elks on that one.
And taking a look at this Alouette defense, Sean Oakman had a deflection that created a pick 6 for Wesley Sutton last week, former Elk. Taiwan Mullen takes over at that nickel linebacker spot, making his 3rd start of the season, former corner at Indiana University. And there is the aforementioned Wesley Sutton, who had the first contact on his former teammate Keon Julian Grant on the last play.
A loss of 3, back to the Alouette 39. Opening possession, Thursday night football. Edmonton, and the 2nd down and 13. Throwing to the right. It is caught by Stephen Dunbar. Kabion Ento has him wrapped up. A flag does come out on the play by Ento.
Procedure, no end, Edmonton. Penalties decline. It's 3rd down.
And gets a shot here from just outside the 40 to get the first points on the board. Field goal pleasure. Great career that he had. Alexander takes the handoff, rolling out. It's Tyler Sneed, who had a great game in Ottawa last week. 151 yards receiving, that Owls offense.
And taking a look at the offensive line, Donnie Ventrelli, one of 3 Americans on that O-line. He's going to start at the right guard position. Alouettes had 2 receivers over 100 yards last week, and Sneed and Mack happy to welcome Charleston Rambo back to the lineup this week as James Letcher started in his place in week 2 in Ottawa.
2nd and 10. Under pressure. Steps up. Alexander takes off. And he can run too. He gets it up across the 50. Enough for a first down. Move those sticks. First quarter, first possession, Alouettes. And the handoff right side picks up just a couple of yards for the running back, Stevie Scott.
And great D-line. You heard Davis Sanchez talk about Robbie Smith in the opening, one of 4 former Toronto Argonauts on that defensive line. The linebacking core, Cordell Jackson moves down from the back end to take over the nickel linebacker spot this season. And the veteran Royce Metier out of Guelph comes over, one of many Canadians to move to Edmonton in free agency this offseason.
That was Sean Thomas Erlington, the ball carrier. Throwing now on 2nd down. Goal speaker. He has the catch. It is shy of a first down. So here we go. And handing it off on the sweep. A little trickier and unpredictable for the Alouettes, but a good play for them as Tyson Philpott gets around the edge and picks up the Montreal first down.
Attacking the A-gaps.
Down to the Edmonton 46. Alexander rolling left. He completes it to Sneed. As mentioned, with 151 yards receiving.
Sneed, he shows up huge.
Gets it down to the 35. Thomas Thomas Erlington, been a feature back for the Alouettes so far this season. And hard-fought 3 yards to set up a second down here for Montreal. 2nd and 7. First possession still for Montreal, trailing 3-0. Alexander has time, steps up, and tries that little shovel pass again to Sneed that worked so well against the Red Blacks last week, and gets it down to around the 25, and looks to be enough for a first down. Very close indeed it is. This little underhand pass there, 9th play of the drive, first down. Takes the handoff, throwing down to the 5, Austin Mack. Another one who had a great day against the Red Blacks last week.
That they are all the way back here in 2025.
Drive continues, play fake, dumping it off, touchdown. The fullback, David Dallaire, gets 6 on the board for Montreal as the Alouettes and Davis Alexander impressively work their way down the field.
David Dallaire with his first of the new season. He's motioning across the formation. You're going to get man coverage so often. Down close to that goal line, they work him across the formation, force someone to try to track him.
And Alexander used a variety of receivers, capped off with Dallaire, and the point after by Jose Maltos.
He can get to the outside. He's already done it once here against Montreal.
Here we go, 7-3. Elks now trail back to Rankin, as he's trying to grind it up to the 40, but runs into a wall of Alouettes after a gain of 3. Now the undisputed #1 to start this season in this new regime in Edmonton. Pressure coming. He escapes Isaac Eddie Berglund. And he gets up across the 40 on that carry. Still just 2 yards. A lot of running to pick up, too, and a third down coming up. They'll have to kick it away. Cody Grace, who until this season was with the Calgary Stampeders and averaging nearly 60 yards a punt 2 weeks ago in week 1.
Family, most importantly, Mom Akan, sister Akul among the crew, and he grew up watching guys like Fred Stamps, Ricky Ray, Patrick Kabongo, and then of course the Mayor of Commonwealth, Odell Willis, who he trains with now.
Alouettes got 10 yards out of Sean Thomas Erlington. 1st and 10. It is caught by Tyson Philpott as he has it up around the 35. Thomas Erlington in behind him on a 2nd down and 3. And it goes to 21. First down and more. Gets it up across to about the 44. Faking to Scott with time to throw. Deep look for Charleston Rambo. Rambo down around the 10. Had to miss last week for personal reasons. Back in the Alouettes lineup, and the biggest play we've seen of this day.
This is an absolute strike from Davis Alexander. Great protection, allowing this one time to develop.
13, looking to add to that 4-point lead. Pressure's coming. Alexander, end zone, touchdown. Tyson Philpott, his 2nd touchdown of this season. And the Alouettes do indeed take the initiative here at Commonwealth Stadium.
I love the way Tyson Philpott tracked this football and just went and got it. He's right on the left edge of your screen, disappearing in motion, working towards the corner. Just following that one over the shoulder, aware where he is relative to the boundary. Reels it in.
5 plays, 91.
So 5 plays, 91 yards, and a touchdown. 2 possessions for the Alouettes in this game, both resulting in touchdowns. The point after from Maltos as he puts that one through. So we get a 14-3 game. First quarter, still 1:19 to go until quarter time. Big play to Rambo, finished off to Philpott, who had a touchdown catch in week 1 against the Argos. That's number 2. And it's Arkell Smith pulling his way through up across the 45 until it ended against Hamilton. Injured about halfway through it and was done for the rest of the year. So now Edmonton in an early hole in this final minute of the first quarter. With the Stampeders, several years there before making the move over to Montreal. Ford. Off to the right. It is caught by Javon Leake. His first catch of this game. Still shy of a first down. CFL last week in their victory over the Red Blacks. Cody Grace. His second punt of this game. Letcher back inside his 10. Does take it. Punt of 48 yards. And not much of a return there. Good coverage. Josiah Shakel. The Alouettes in front by 11. Offensive numbers, a big difference here. Just 5 yards passing for Trey Ford in Edmonton. Davis Alexander. Well, that offense hasn't missed a beat through 2 possessions, couple of touchdowns. That offense so far in this game. Alexander looking to add to that. And a quick hitter there to Tyson Philpott, who had a touchdown in the first quarter. He gave a couple of touchdown passes to Dallaire and to Philpott. First and 10 from the 28. And quickly off to Cole Speaker across the 30 and pushes his way up to about the 34. Cornell Jackson in on the tackle, and Niles Morgan as well.
Leading receiver a year ago, over 800 yards.
Pressure. Alexander gets rid of it, and that one is off the hands of Philpott with Tyrell Ford in on the coverage. So the Elks defense holds. Zima to punt it, standing around his 20 with Javon Leake, the lone one back for Edmonton at his 30. 45-yard punt, he cuts it back inside, and down he goes. Not much further there. To 3. But Montreal just punted for the first time in this game, so Trey Ford back to work. Shot open. In pursuit, 2, chasing number 2, and that one intended for Zach Mathis goes incomplete. Winning ways again. It's just game 2, and trying to get something going here on the 2nd and 10, and forced out of the pocket, and throwing though, and completing it to Stephen Dunbar, but still shy of a first down by a few yards. Cody Fajardo, ex-Alouette against his old team. Flags come out. He does have enough for the first down, but yeah, pending the flag. He placed 2 weeks ago.
Montreal number 2. 5-yard penalty, makes it the first down.
Strange feeling for Cody Fajardo. 2 years as the Alouettes quarterback, and now against them. Javon Leake, and he gets away from that tackle, heading right, and he gets about another yard, pushing Kavion Ento there, and a first down carry. So picks up 4, 2nd and 6. After the Leake run, he stays in the backfield, and it's thrown off to the left to Zach Mathis at the 40, and a first down for Edmonton.
A year earlier, Zach Mathis, one of 3 Canadian starters in the receiving corps.
Elks right tempo, and running right up the middle is Javon Leake. He gets it down to about the 31-yard line. And Leake, 2nd down and short for Trey Ford and the Elks. Back to Leake, and he slices his way down around the 30, and for years in the same job with the BC Lions from the 26 now. It's Rankin, the ball carrier. So they continue to run it. He picks up about a yard there. Najee Murray in on the tackle. Best drive so far for Edmonton in this game. Quickly and knocked away. Marc-Antoine Dequoy, and Ford nearly caught it himself, but dropped it. It's Dequoy coming in, but one of many Alouette defenders so far this season that has made life miserable for the passing lane of a quarterback.
As he would have lost yards.
He would have. It's Blanchard in. He's 1 for 1. We'll call it 2 for 2 now.
It's a great Grey Cup winner in 2023. Best record in the East in 24, but the Owls moving on.
Final drive, the championship run for the Alouettes in 2023. Throwing again, it's Rambo. The big catch, a 54-yarder in the first quarter.
Changed a little bit. Dynamics changed with Trey Ford in the lineup.
Alexander throwing again to Philpott again. Boy, you're not kidding. You got backups like Bethel Thompson and Fajardo. Pump fake on the 2nd down and 5, and a deep look down the rail to the left for Rambo again, nearly, but coverage is there and a flag comes out. Devondrick Bynum was right with him, and was he a little too close as Alexander tried to hit another deep shot.
Pass interference, Edmonton number 16. Automatic first down.
Maybe leaning into the receiver a little bit here. Tough to say. Watch the left arm of Devondrick Bynum. Yeah, a little grab on the inside
Edmonton
arm of Rambo.
The previous ruling of a defensive pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
Mark Killam throwing his first challenge flag as a head coach does not think that was pass interference, and what would amount to be a 47-yard gain if that interference call stands up.
After review by the replay center, he's calling the field stands. Edmonton, by losing the challenge, has lost a timeout. It's first down, Montreal.
On a first and goal at the 6. Sean Thomas Erlington back in this game. Cordell Jackson has him, but Erlington's still able to get it inside the 5.
The actual back end down to the nickel linebacker spot this season.
Second and goal at the 3. A pass into the end zone for Mack, and the coverage is there. Right there from Leonard Johnson, who came over from Hamilton with the Argos before that.
Locating the ball, getting a piece of it.
Jose Maltos was 6 for 6 in field goals in Ottawa last week, and with that one on the season, he is 9 for 10. So
To the house, he says brother Tyrell is better on the field skill-wise than he is with a hammer. The Reynolds are on pause, guys, because he's trying to build something here at home.
Team, they've been there most of the way in college and minor football as well, and now in the pros. The Ford brothers back together, and back to Justin Rankin on the ground now, and that first and 10, and a flag comes out.
Boundary corner spot.
No end. Edmonton. Penalties declined. It's second down.
17-6. Under 5 minutes to go until halftime. Ford running out of time, and down he goes. That pressure up front. It's Jeffrey Cantar-Arcou. He had a big interception for the Alouette defense last week in Ottawa, and getting the sack. Oh, some heat on there. Grace does get it away off the hump. James Letcher, 26, finds a little opening there and gets it up to around the 35. I'm sure he'll be watching Wimbledon when he can too. And another catch there for Philpott. Stevie Scott in the backfield stays in to protect. Another deep shot. Alexander, flag comes out. And Johnson is right there, stride for stride with Mack, who puts his hands in the air, but they were close together. That flag came out before the ball arrived in their vicinity.
Legal contact on the receiver. Edmonton, number 9. 10-yard penalty, makes it a first down.
So it's the safety, Royce Metier, who gets flagged. And just on the other side of midfield for the Alouettes, Sean Thomas Erlington left side. Another good carry. Still going as he finally gets pushed out there by Nick Anderson. Thank you, Kate Burness. Halftime, the panel coming up. And Stevie Scott, the running back, late in this first half, 2:41 on the clock.
Tyson's played the first few games, and they all showed out, seized the opportunity, and ended up winning jobs.
Has the ball in his hands again, and a pickup that takes it down to about the 38, a pickup of 4, 172 yards. Couple of touchdowns. Looking to throw again. Flushed out. Running around. Buying time. Deep look. Down in the end zone. Wide open. Touchdown. Tyler Sneed could wait all day for that one to come home. 38-yard strike, and there was nobody near him.
Davis Alexander, under pressure, manages to extend the play. Nice block there from the left tackle, Des Holmes. Tyler Sneed is wide open early on this play. It just takes Alexander some time to get to him. He's got to free himself of that pass rush a little bit, but we'll take another look.
Alexander on that play.
Now, you'll see Tyler Sneed here. The corner is going to sit down on the flat. Watch Sneed once he gets in behind the corner, and he knows he's wide open. Jumping up and down, waving his arms, playground style. It does the trick to get the attention of his quarterback. I'll leave it to the likes of the panel to discuss who might be the best receiving core in the Canadian Football League, but I think we got to talk a little bit about the Alouettes, don't we?
Well, under 2 minutes to go till halftime. It's Rankin on the move, and his best run of the day across midfield, finally hauled down by Wesley Sutton.
Yes, but Rankin's been good.
65 yards so far until that carry where he loses one. Big Sean Oakman coming in. Until halftime, a half dominated by the Alouettes. Ford wants to pass. Gets it away and completes it to Stephen Dunbar. And almost had an Alouette defender right in on his arm as he got rid of it.
You know, Lewis, Kenny Lawler, Dom Rhymes on the move as well.
Completion for another first down to the 20 for the Elks, and it's Curly Gittens Jr. Edmonton needs a response touchdown before we hit halftime. They're getting closer, down to the 20. Ford chased out by Amy Berglund, completes it, just dumping it off to Rankin, who loses the ball and recovers it and loses 3 yards in the process on that play.
Hungry to create turnovers.
Big second and long coming up here for Ford and the Elks. Deep look, end zone, intercepted. Kevion Ento, who went down, and it looked for a moment like Zach Mathis was open for the touchdown, and Ento alertly coming in to steal it away just at the last microsecond.
You see Zach Mathis working out of the slot on this one. He's headed towards the corner. Kevion Ento, third season as a starter at that field corner spot.
Scored in all but one possession, 3 touchdowns and a field goal. Big difference in terms of net yards, and a great first half for Alouette quarterback Davis Alexander. Big test for the Edmonton defense and Tyrell Ford, who was standing by with Tom Gazzola. The Alouettes, and leading this one by 18, the second half to begin. Montreal had deferred after winning the toss. They want the ball to start the second half. They've got it. James Letcher at the 20, and gets with flags coming down upwards of the 30.
During the return, holding Montreal number 42. 10-yard penalty. First down, Montreal.
So they'll start a little bit further back. Xander on pace for his best passing performance of his young career. Second half begins on that hitch. The Mac, who lost the football, I guess they say no catch, right after 10. Alexander quickly completes it. It was good coverage there just in front of the football, but it is Mack hanging on to that one, and a first down for the Owls. Handing off this time to Sean Thomas Erlington, breaking tackles, getting up to the 30. Thomas Erlington, who was hurt in the first half but came back on and is having a solid day on the ground.
Against Ottawa.
Buying space and on the ground again, and this time with nothing. Robbie Smith, one of the newcomers. Jake Serezna as well, former Argos, in on that tackle to stuff the run, and no gain. Edmonton down 18. Looking to chip away at that when they get the ball back. Zima off to the right, and a 51-yard punt. Leak takes it inside the 30. Dancing around, trying to cut it back up, but there's just nowhere to go.
Jordan Maximic and the Edmonton offense have in store here.
Handing off to Javon Leak, left side and first down. Dequan and then the pack with Ento there too, and Darnell Sankey to take him down. They had one defensive touchdown in each of the first 2 weeks. Throwing, second down, it is caught, it is a first down. That one completed to Curly Gittens, his second catch. To the 44 and a first down. Elks trying to sustain a drive and get into the end zone and get this thing closer. That is complete. So short passing again at Zach Mathis. 6 after that pickup. Mathis, and with time and running out of it, and sacked. The second sack of this game for the Montreal Alouettes, and Jeffrey Quentin-Arcou.
Execution there from Noel Thorpe and Jeffrey Quentin-Arcou.
Braced to punt it away. Owls dropping back to set up a return here for James Letcher. Takes it after a 40-yard punt and works it up close to the 50s. Frustrating night so far for that Edmonton offense. The Elks in general, they're down by 18, and Alexander back to work. Completes that to Tyson Philpott, and well, what a 1-2 punch they have had in that Edmonton defense. Alexander again. Cole Speaker, not used as often, but ever reliable, and makes that catch for a first down. Cross. Alexander throwing that off to Tyler Sneed, who gets up to midfield, takes a pop, just a couple of yards shy of a first down. After that gain of 8, 2nd and 2, taking the handoff, rolling to the right and underneath, and that is complete to Jacob Mason. And one of the fullbacks, David Dallaire, getting a touchdown. He's there to congratulating him. And down is Davis Alexander after that play. Took a hit after tossing it underhand for another good gain for the Alouettes and a first down. But there is a concern for Montreal.
Yeah, well, keep an eye initially here on Alexander. After the toss, yeah, you see him grab his hamstring just as he threw that football, hobbled to the sideline.
So not even hit, non-contact, just on that play. And
yeah, even before he threw the ball.
This was a moment ago. Davis Alexander going off on his own, so it
brings on one McLeod, Bethel Thompson.
They remember him here in Edmonton, and he hands off, so they go with a running play on the first down. Passing this time and completing it to Speaker. Cole Speaker has it down close to the Montreal 30. A flag does come out.
Legal block hands to the face, Montreal number 66. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
That's in the left guard, Pierre-Olivier Lestage.
The Argos revamped defensive line can do here.
McLeod, Bethel Thompson. And he swings it up to Stevie Scott. Across midfield, but not much more. 45.
I think of the year Javon Leake had a couple years ago in Toronto, wondering if he may be able to provide a spark in the return game.
They could use it. That one, though, beautifully done by Zima, although he didn't get the roll out at the end he would have wanted. Instead, it heads into the end zone. So put another point on the board.
200 in the first half here tonight.
254 when he went out. It's Rankin. So they try to get the ground game going. And down by 19 points. Window when he was wide open, and Ento closed quickly and had the pick. Three-man rush. Time for Ford. Completes it to. That's Arkell Smith. But a good opener at BC Place on offense and special teams, and gets a rough ride out of bounds there. Gets up to the 52 and a first down. Off to the left. Throwing again to Mathis. Completes that across midfield.
Early. And used it to get good value, I believe, in Zach Mathis.
Used it well. 2nd and 5. Pressure on Ford. Can't get away again. Isaac Adeyemi Berglund. Lowell Ugawak were in there pursuing, and it's the 3rd sack of the night for the Montreal Alouettes. As drive stalls, forced a punt. 3rd sack of the season. Adeyemi Berglund. And it heads out of bounds. No chance at all there for Letcher.
Edmonton Elks game on YouTube. Started working out at soccer fields to get ready for the upcoming camp in 2024. And he said as soon as he put on the pads and got out there for his first practice session with the Elks, he knew he loved this game more than anything, and he's grateful and appreciative as he makes a tackle there, guys.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tom, he just added to his tackle total, although the bad news is for Edmonton, it's after another long gain for Tyson Philpott.
Yeah, well executed. Little hitch out to Tyson Philpott, down the Alouette receiver.
All the way to the 46 of Edmonton. And on another hitch, Charleston Rambo, and a little less, but a similar result, at least bursting through and getting it down. A flag coming out, though, as he got it just inside the Edmonton 30. Muster.
Illegal low block, Edmonton number 13. It's 10-yard penalty. It's first down.
Cordell Jackson, the one who's flagged for the legal block. Bethel Thompson in for the injured Davis Alexander. Handing off, going nowhere. Coming right in is Jared Brinkman.
And more consistent plays like that from their front four.
Setting up a screen to Thomas Erlington, who spins, and he gets back just inside the 20. Not nearly enough. Field goal unit to be coming on. And an injured player, and that's their middle linebacker, Niles Morgan, on that play. And 26. He's good. 12 of 15, but only 76 yards and a pick. Rolling to his right. To throw again. Does. Deep. Right. Open. Dunbar. Stephen Dunbar with the catch.
Now returning to the green and gold.
Biggest offensive play for Edmonton in this game. Flushed out of the pocket. Dumping it off for Mathis. And he backpedals after catching it. That's in the last play of the 3rd quarter. This should be quarter time now. Through 3 quarters, the Alouettes in front 28-6. They lost quarterback Davis Alexander, but still managed to put more points on the board with McLeod Bethel Thompson. That might be it for him. Handing off Justin Rankin. They got it down inside the 20. They've got a first down. Just not much doing there.
Sheet the last couple of years has had a quiet day.
Pressure on Trey Ford. Big chest. Gets into the end zone for an Edmonton touchdown. 18 yards, Trey Ford. He escaped the pocket, and that time, Montreal could not stop him.
Legal contact, Montreal number 32. Penalties decline, results play with the touchdown.
And you'll watch right about here, Joel Uguak is thinking he really is as fast as they say. Trey Ford getting around the corner in a hurry. Find the end zone. Big play sparked him. See if the Elks can continue this momentum.
So that gets it down to 16 points. They're going to see if they can get it down to 14, going for 2 here. Early fourth quarter, and Edmonton finally finds the end zone. Trey Ford, pressure coming, end zone. Long, nice catch. Justin Rankin.
Camp last year as a receiver.
And they try the short kick, and it's Hakeem Harris, the rookie receiver, part of the draft class of 25 for the Alouettes on special teams, alertly picking up that ball as Edmonton tried to catch the Alouettes napping on that short kick try.
Yeah, certainly did. And not a bad call for Edmonton at this time, because I think from a Montreal perspective, maybe one you might not expect them to expect until later in the game, but clearly Byron Archambault had his group prepared.
So Alouette football, McLeod Bethel-Thompson remains a quarterback, 4 for 4 for 60 yards, call it 5 for 5, and more yardage here from Stevie Scott with a flag coming out.
Major foul, roughing the passer, Edmonton number 94. Up 15 yards from the end of the play, an automatic first down.
So very quickly on the heels of the short kick and the penalty, the Alouettes find themselves in that offensive green zone.
Yeah, momentum swing just as Edmonton had something going. And they got a blitz coming, and Bethel-Thompson gets rid of it, but no, a little too far for Sneed, right around the 10. Second down, flags out. They get Bethel-Thompson. MPT goes down. Noah Taylor in there, and the pressure, and Jalen Garnes, their first-year Elk. Offside against
Offside. Montreal number 85. Penalties decline. It's third down.
Already in field goal range. So 2. Longest to 26. This one coming outside the 30. 3 for 3.
Candidate in this league for a number of years.
And his offense on the field and a deep shot from Ford. He wants Dunbar. A flag comes out. Ento in the coverage. And doesn't like the call, but it was just one-on-one. And looks like Ento gets flagged.
It drifts out of bounds.
Accidental pass interference, Montreal number 48. This is a 10-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Point difference. Ford wants to load up, loses the ball as he's taken down, and Isaac Adeyemi Berglund falls on it. His second fumble recovery, the other one in week 1, went for a touchdown against the Argos. And what a great start for the runner-up and top Canadian last year, Isaac Adeyemi Berglund. They got heat on Ford, and he couldn't hang on to the ball.
Yeah, pressure's going to come from the top of the screen, backside. Tyrese Beverett be credited with the strip. Adeyemi Berglund, French immersion student through high school in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.
Got 3 sacks, got a couple of fumble recoveries and a touchdown. So after the carry by Thomas Erlington, it's in the hands of Cole Speaker down inside the 25. Both of these teams certainly fit when it comes to quarterback depth. And back on the ground, and a big carry here for Sean Thomas Erlington, and another Alouette touchdown. Flies into the end zone. That running TD, 23 yards. And Montreal really opening it up
couple of short fields back-to-back after the attempted short kick by Edmonton, recovered by Akeem Harris. And here the fumble recovery, setting up the short field, setting the stage for that Sean Thomas Erlington touchdown run.
First rushing touchdown of this season for Sean Thomas Erlington in 2023. Winning 9 straight, including the Grey Cup, and then they won their first 5 before they launched last season. And looking at a 3-0 start here.
For the last 2 years.
From the Edmonton 37. Interesting fact from 2nd and 2. Rankin has to fight for it. He does get it. Just barely.
It's offense, right? This is only the 2nd game of the year for Edmonton.
Completed to Arkell Smith across midfield. Lorenzo Burns. Oh, the Elks want a flag there for that high tackle by Burns on Smith.
Make that play.
Swinging it in for Rankin, just a bit too far. He cannot hang on to that.
First caller tackle. Rod, you're the tiebreaker.
I'm the tiebreaker. I can't go against my producer. That is caught. That's Stephen Dunbar. First down, deep look, down at the 5, touchdown. Curly Gittins. And the coverage was right there. Hung on to the ball and just fell into the end zone.
And felt a little bit like no one was yelling ball when the ball was in the air here. You'll see Curly Gittins Jr.
On the night for Gittins. 6 plays, 73 yards, the drive for the Elks. So
3-possession game. 2-point convert.
would have made it 2 scores.
Yeah, the Elks would have been down 2 possessions.
By 16, so it's Letcher on the return. And now the defense for Edmonton really has to stand up. It's out of Amaga Clements. You just have to do it. They have to execute. That is so true right now. 38-21 now. 2 and out. It'd be nice for Edmonton's defense, and that's a good start as they stuff the runner. Nick Anderson in there, and no gain at all. Scott in there now. Flares out. Bethel Thompson. He's going to take on it. Oh, and leaping as well, McLeod Bethel Thompson. Not known as much for his running, but he picks up 7 yards there. But it is the 2 and out that the Elks defense so desperately need, and they'll be presumably getting the ball back very soon. Montreal, under 5 minutes, 4:20 to go. Javon Lake, he picks it up.
Well, thinks of with the Edmonton organization anytime he's thinking about the green and gold, and he says he's got nothing but the utmost respect for Mandrusiak, who started with the club way back in 1971. This year, guys, joint role, community, and historian. Perfect for Mandrusiak, who's in his 60s now.
Absolutely, Tom. No question. Lowell Uguak throwing up the ball. They punched it out at Justin Rankin, but not ruled a fumble as his progress had stopped. That red in there.
Yeah, Rankin. Kind of an awkward position. He was held up, so he hadn't gone down, but as you said, if his forward progress was ruled stopped, the play was dead. Now, he is obviously overqualified for the job, but great to see him back in green and gold.
And it's Ford on the move in a 2nd and 9. Coming back for it is Gittins, who had a touchdown earlier. It's a catch for Curly Gittins earlier. With 38-21, heading down to 3-minute time. And still lots of work to do, and that won't help as it falls in front of Javon Lake incomplete.
Become great starters in recent years.
2nd and 10, Edmonton 47. And softer toss to Dunbar, and a good tackle on the play by Lorenzo Burns on TSN as week 3 keeps going. It's the Elks. Zach Mathis. Grabbed there by Kavion Ento.
A little bit more concerned conservative, obviously, given the circumstances here.
Blitz coming. Dubois couldn't get him. Takes a long touchdown. Julian Grant. 52 yards. Another big TD toss by Trey Ford. As Edmonton is not going quietly.
Just as I suggested that Montreal could be a little bit less aggressive, their free safeties at the line of scrimmage on the blitz. Marc-Antoine Dequoy coming off the left edge. He almost has a shot at Trey Ford, but meanwhile on the back end, with no Dequoy, the Elks and Keon Julian Grant are able to go over the top.
Eastern final last year. Julian Grant moving on to the Edmonton Elks. He's got a TD against his old team.
Downs, and that puts them at 30 if they're successful. This is a one-possession game with 2.5 to go.
Onside kick. They'll try it again, and it is in the hands of the Edmonton Elks. It works. Officials are discussing this. So Mason of the Alouettes had a crack at it. And there's a player down. This from
Previous play is under review by the replay center.
Yeah, I believe one of the Edmonton players, Zach Mathis, had the boom lowered on him by Vincent Gagné.
From the 43. And that is caught. A first down, Arkel Smith. 2nd and 3 coming up. Pressure coming, and there are hands in the passing lane again for the Alouette defense. And a big 3rd down. Can they get the first down? Extend the drive. It's a deep look, and Giddens was open in behind Wesley Sutton, but the pass is too far that time. Falls incomplete. Turnover on downs. Montreal football in the Edmonton zone. It's offense back on. McLeod Bethel Thompson at quarterback. And handing off. Stevie Scott picks up 2, maybe 3. 2nd and 8. There's a deep look. Flag comes out. Receiver Austin Mack turned around with Cordell Jackson there with him. And this one will be against the
Offside,
Alouettes.
Montreal number 6. Penalties declined. It's 3rd down.
At the bottom, Javon Leake. See where Joseph Zima places this one. Excellent directional kicker, puts it Giddens' way. 37-yard punt. And a flag does come out. Get away so
During the
far this
return,
season.
illegal block. Edmonton number 38. 10-yard penalty, first down to Edmonton.
Teams coming into this one. From the end zone. No, again. Receiver getting away, Giddens. The Edmonton 7. Elks running out of time. Running out of chances. Ford has to take off. Now throws it, and it's high, and it's incomplete, and it's 3rd down.
Oh, God.
So Grace gets it away. In Montreal football in midfield is James Letcher, a punt of 52, but it's getting academic now for the Elks and the Alouettes. And what a run so far in his 3rd season on the sideline for the Alouettes. That first year they caught fire. They won the Grey Cup in 23.
Moss and brought him back for a 2nd stint in Edmonton, and his quote was, "We've got our leader back."
Right.
And it
Pick up together. And now about to go to a 3-0 start. Pressure on Zima, but he does get it away. And that one heads down. Has to be inside the 15 to go out of bounds in the air.
What he strove to do as a coach was to remain positive, continue to bring the same energy regardless of what the team's record was. And I'm sure he'll do the same thing here as head coach of the Edmonton Elks.
Win, and he played well.
Yeah, fantastic start and victory. Great performance for Davis Alexander.
Thrown into a crowd, and Giddens does come up with it. 18 seconds to go. Pointed, I'm sure, in this home opener to see the team fall to an 0-2 start. Off to Leak, and he falls down as they did 1 year ago. Looking like a dominant team for the most part tonight. They were. Leak slides down, zeros in the clock, and that's it. Davis Travis Alexander, second best ever start for a quarterback in the Canadian Football League. He is 7-0 as a starter, 3